Okay, back with our first lesson in automation, specifically volume drawing. I am the alcoholic audio engineer coming to you once again from lovely scenic Paju City, South Korea. And we're continuing our work on the project Gorilla in the corner of the room. This is a playlist. If you want to start from the first installment, please visit my channel, Alcoholic Audio Engineer, and click on playlists and click the one entitled Building the Song in Cakewalk, Gorilla in the corner of the room. Right, so I was going to record another percussion part during the chorus sections with the Irish drum over there, the bodhrain. But even though the sun hasn't gone down yet, noise was an issue, so I can't do that right now. So we're going to go right into our first lesson in automation. So what is automation? I've decided that from now on it might be a good practice to, whenever I'm introducing a new term, to go ahead and dial it up on the internet and let's look at a official definition or whatever. So here we go. Pull up my Brave browser. I like Brave browser. Just a little plug for Brave browser. It's got some good built-in free features and some paid ones as well. That I don't pay for those. I don't pay for anything except Photoshop, which I don't use for making splashy, thumbnails on YouTube because I think they're silly. But I need to do it anyway, just to ham things up. But anyways, one cool thing about Brave browser is it has an AI assistant that I won't get into why, but if you do a lot of searches and you do a lot of digging around, it can save you some time. So I type in DAW automation, digital audio workstation automation, and this is the AI assistant's sort of synopsis of various results from the search. He nutshells it. It nutshells it. So let's read it. DAW, digital audio workstation automation, refers to the process of controlling various parameters within a music production software over time. Yes, this allows for dynamic changes to occur in a mix, creating a more engaging and expressive sound. Well, it doesn't do that. You do that with your mind and your brain, but you use automation to achieve that. Okay. Automation can be applied to various aspects of a track, including level, pan, EQ, compression, reverb, and other effects, plug-in settings. We're going to start with level. Level automation, also known as volume drawing. And it's curious, like one thing that's missing from this definition is that it's automated, right? You can control various parameters manually, the way they did in the old days. Right, so it's the automation of that. And I'm not going to read through this whole thing, just going to scroll down a bit and let's see here. Where is it? Right. Recording automation. Performing automation, adjusting parameters in real time as the song plays. All right. Drawing automation, creating automation curves by hand using the DAW's graphical interface. All right, so that's what we're going to get into in this tutorial. And so without further ado, back to our DAW, back to our project, Gorilla in the corner of the room. And I've got Gorilla toms and infinity toms, which I want to, I don't want these two drum tracks to play throughout the entirety of the song, as I explained in the last installment. And so, so when I play it back, I want the levels to come up and down automatically. Okay. And when I mix it down, obviously, to WAV or MP3, that has to happen automatically, of course. So, how do we go about making this happen? So the first thing we have to do is, I'm going to expand these two. Well, we're going to start with Gorilla Toms. Going to expand that a little bit, and this gray area right here, I'm going to right click on that. Some places you right click and you get a smaller pop-up. All right, right click over here. Okay, I get the big one. Over here I get the small one. You want the big one. All right, and you're going to go down to lanes, and for volume automation, volume drawing, you want to select the second one. Show hide lanes. This one, show hide lanes. Right now it's hidden. We want to show it, and there it is. Now, an extra, as the name implies, lane has appeared here. All right, and when I touch the line with the mouse cursor, it becomes a pencil. Okay, hence volume drawing. So there's two ways to do this. Okay. Let me see if I can remember the first way. There's one way I do all the time. The other way I don't do too often. First, let's go with the simple way that I usually do it. All right. So let me see. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here, stretch this out a bit. And, I'm aware of the general structure of the song. By now, you probably are as well, if you've been, going along with this playlist tutorial series, step by step. So if you have by now, you should know that, there's the intro. Let me see. Yeah. So when I am plotting my escape, the only thing that gives me pause is that gorilla in the corner of the room. That gorilla in the corner of the room. So that's the end of the first verse, and we're going into the chorus section. The first chorus. He's so heavy. All right. And that's where I want the gorilla toms to come in during that chorus section. So that begins right here. Okay, after this pause. That's where the first chorus begins. So, let me see, why isn't that? Hang on a second. I'm going to pause here while I puzzle over something. Be right back. All right, back. Don't want to waste your time on my brain farts. So, yes, indeed. This is the beginning of the first chorus. Where's the end of the first chorus? Let's just listen through the chorus. All right. All right, so that's about where I want, right here is where I want those gorilla toms to come in, and right around here is where I want them to cut out or fade out, okay? So it's going to be more of a fade out, cut out and a fade out. As for the actual drum signal, I want it to cut out on the beat. But if I do it the right way, the delay will gradually fade out, if that makes sense. You know, it's like, well, just in case that doesn't make sense immediately, I'm going to go ahead and just play the toms real quick, solo it. All right, well, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, you see how you see this green line? That is the volume. That's the volume level, and it's set at minus infinity because that's where the volume slider was when I did the show lane, right? So that's where it's set because when I did that, that's where I had the volume slider set when I did that. I'm getting a call. Oh, life. All right, where was I? Okay, so back to track view. So again, the volume slider was set at minus infinity when I opened the volume drawing automation lane. That green line is the volume line. You can see here that it is flatlined at minus infinity for the whole track. And so what that means is, so I'm going to do this the simple way right now. And there's another way that you can do it. This way is just more precise and I think better all around. It does require some mouse work, which can be a bit tedious, but anyway, that's what we're going to do right now. So, see, I want the drums to come in right here. Those gorilla toms, I want them to come in right here. That's obvious. What's not so obvious is I want them to come out right around here where the chorus ends and the second verse begins. And that is just looking at my ruler up here right before, just shy of number 36. I should have this set for, let me see here. This should be set for, the number should be time, but anyway, I'm not going to bother with that right now. So, just shy of the number 36, and that's just for reference, all right? So, here's my, and I can widen or narrow in my volume automation lane here. So obviously, it's not the gorilla toms are not audible at all throughout the entire track, but here is where I want them to come in, and so I'm going to. So this is why I'm going to zoom in a bit more, right? Again, just shy of 36. That's where it's going to. That's where the volume is going to come back down again. Here's where I want it to come in, right there, and just. What I'm going to do here is left click with the pencil pointing on the line. I'm going to left click and I create a node. All right, I think that's actually what it's called, a node. It's kind of like an anchor, and I can move it back and forth. You see, I can move it back and forth. I can move it up and down, right? And let me see. Let me zoom out again. All right, so if I raise it up, see what's going on? There's already an anchor node at the very beginning. And I've just kind of like, so if I did this, and here's the gorilla tom track, that would start out, when it kicks in here, it would start out at this volume, and it would gradually increase until it reached this volume at this node. What is that volume? Well, I can mouse over it. It says volume is minus 6.8. All right. Anyway, that's not what I want to do right now. I want to drag it down to 0, and then I'm going to point my pencil, click, make another node, and I'm going to drag it up. I'm going to drag it up to the level that I want those drums to be at, and I think it's going to be around minus 18. All right, now I can change that at any time, right? But that's where I think, from going through it a few times, I think that's about where the volume I want it at. Okay, so just shy of 36 is about where I want this part, this Gorilla Toms part, to go back down to infinity, minus infinity again, right? So I'm going to make another anchor point. Click. All right, and I'm going to drag that down to minus infinity again. I'm going to make another anchor point. Click, and pull it up to, right about 18 again. Okay. And if I, obviously if I want it to sort of fade out, I'm going to do that. If I want it to cut off right away, I'm going to make a vertical kind of cliff there. And likewise here. If I wanted this part to kind of fade in, I'd do more of a slope like that. But I just want it to cut in suddenly. I'm going to make a cliff out of it, right? And see, there's our line right there. So yeah, that should be about right. And to make sure that these two points are at identical volumes, I mouse over the node where I get the 4-arrow mouse cursor, and I right click, and you've got a number of options here: reset node, delete node. Okay, we'll get to these later. You left click properties, and you can manually type in your level that you want. Okay, level minus 17.5, that's fine. I like that number. Okay. And I'm going to go over here to this one. Unless I want it to gradually decrease or increase in volume, I want it to be at the same volume throughout the time that it's audible. Right click, left click properties. Okay, that's at minus 18.4. I'm just going to set it at minus 17.5 like the first one. Okay, and now I have automated the Gorilla Toms track to come in on the first chorus at the beginning of the first chorus, and to go back to 0 volume at the end of the first chorus, or thereabouts. I might have to adjust these two. You adjust things to taste. And let's just do a playback and see what it sounds like. Okay. So we'll start from right here. I'm going to unsolo Gorilla Toms, obviously. Well, just might as well do it solo from here first. Right? Okay. Okay, and that's not exactly what I want, actually. But in terms of the volume drawing lesson, this is a good place to start. So I'm going to finish this part of it, and then I'm going to pause again, do a little bit more cogitating, and then come back and finish this tutorial installment. All right, so let's listen to it in the mix from here. Okay, that's pretty good. I pretty much nailed it where it should cut out. And so that's fine. There's one more thing that I wanted to do that's not doing, and I have to go back in my memory banks and remember how it is that I made that happen. I'm going to pause it and be back in a blip. There it is, pause. Okay. All right, we're back, and as you can see, I went ahead and finished the volume drawing for this track, Gorilla Tom's Fit Project. So you can see where it goes up and down, up and down. That's the first chorus, that's the second chorus, and the bridge. Down for the third verse, and then back up for the final chorus and the outro. Now, notice that at the end here, it's not a cliff. Okay, it's a slope. So it fades out at the end, right? Let's go ahead and listen to that real quick.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Don't need to be hearing that every single time. Okay, so let me get rid of that. Main vocal. Okay, right there is where I say, all right, at the end. See where I got the double arrows there on the edge? I'm just going to back that off, and I can always bring it back by dragging it right, but I'm just going to drag it left. And now, you'll notice something, and this ties directly into what I'm about to do here in another 2 steps. I'm going to solo the main vocal. Now you see that this is where look where the clip cuts off right here, right? So that's where the raw signal cuts off, right? But listen.
So heavy.
The plugins continue to trail off, which I think is really cool. And I want to utilize that with the Gorilla Toms as well. So if I were to if I were to make a cliff of this down here and make it the same situation with the Gorilla Toms track, where the I just make it where the track just cuts off right there. Well, if I were to drag this this final node down here, which is down at minus infinity, drag it up here to minus 17.5, right? It would also fade out and decay, just not in the same way. The way this is, the everything is fading out. Let me just drag this up to minus, properties, minus 17.5, okay? Now listen. Now there's a much, it's going to go on quite a bit longer. Still going. Okay? Let I undo that. And so it doesn't go on as long because the total signal, plug-in effects and everything it's all going down. I hope that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it any better. Anyhow, so there's two ways. I want the way it's set up right now. Let's say right here at the end of the first chorus. I'm going to go ahead and solo gorilla toms, and listen. Okay, just sudden cutoff. Let me start it earlier so we can get the delay going. Okay, sudden cutoff. Now, might be times where I want that. In this case, I don't want that. I don't want a sudden cutoff of the whole signal. I want those drums to just kind of fade out. Now, I could do it two ways. I could do it the way I have it at the end of the song right now, and I could just take this bottom node here, and I could drag it out. Whoops. Okay, they were all selected, so they all got dragged at once. All right, so I could take this bottom node out here and drag it out like that for however long I want, and then listen to what happens. Right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Nothing wrong with that, you know. In the mix. The reason you're hearing it now is because, you know, when you cut the audio, the volume automation goes off, and it's no longer at minus infinity anymore, so you still hear the effects processing going on when you hit stop. Anyway, this is one way of doing it, you know, and that's fine. I could do it here as well. Right? Whoops. Again, all the notes were selected, so got to make sure you don't have them all selected at once. Let's get this one, scoot that guy out, you know, however far. So that's one way of doing it. That's perfectly fine. What if I want a longer trail off? What if I want the trail off to be this, you know, the actual trail off of the delay gradually cycling out? So here's how to do that. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this Gorilla Toms track. So right in here in this gray area, I'm going to right click, duplicate track, duplicate events. One repetition, one time. Okay. Now, you notice that it also duplicated my volume automation. And I don't want that volume automation for this. It's going to become clear why here in just a minute. First thing I'm going to do is right-click, clear all. All right? And so you can see what that did is that flatlined it at minus 17.5. Okay. Depending on where you right-click and select that clear all, it might flatline it down to minus infinity. In that case, you'd go to the first node, right-click, and properties, and you'd set it to minus 17.5. You'd go back to the last node down at the bottom, and you'd right-click at properties, and you'd also set that to minus 17.5. Either way, that's the volume I want it at. Obviously, that can be adjusted, modified, changed, at as I so desire, right? But for now, that's the way I want it. Now, so here's another way to go about it. I'm going to, right there, right where it comes in. I've got the volume automation. I've got it coming in right there. I'm going to left click and drag and to the beginning of that track. I don't have to do this part, but okay, I'm going to Control X or cut. Cut. All right. And at the end of that chorus right here, where I've got the volume automation, that's where it starts to, where it either cuts off or it fades out. But right there, that's where I want the dry signal to end. So I'm zooming in, I'm going to that beat right there. It's right there. Okay. And I'm going to left click, select over until it comes in again, which is right there. Okay. And once again, I'm going to Control X or cut. All right. So I've cut the dry signal out of the mix entirely in those sections. And I want you to notice what happens. So even though the volume is set at minus 17.5 here, there's nothing to process. There's nothing to play. There's nothing there. And so here it kicks in, and there it cuts out. But listen to the diff. So I'm going to solo this, start about right here. You know, give the delay cycle a bit time to build before it cuts out. Here we go. Now, the delay cycle is slowly unwinding and slowly petering out. So, compare that. Compare that to this. All right. You got it? All right. If I don't want that after effect when I hit stop, I really should mute this one so it doesn't process in the background. Look what happens here. Well, no. Just give you that idea. I'm gonna. Never mind. Okay, you'll figure that out. So let's say I'm undecided about which one I want. So I'm going to do both and compare them. So I've already kind of got this set up to do it both ways. And also over here, here's where it cuts out again, right there. Or that's where I want the part to stop again, right there. So I'm going to zoom in and right there. Okay, so here's my second Gorilla Toms track. This is what I want to cut out. Hang on a second. I'm going to make sure that this is what I want. I'm going to mute this. Listen to the. I had these two beats extra strong. I had kind of a little fill there. That's just a call. I'm not sure whether to, okay, do I want to cut these 2 beats out and have it stop there or stop there? That's I don't know. Here's where I chose, I'm just going to make a quick call, and yeah, I'm just going to start there. Left click, drag, select. All right. All the way to where they come back in, and again on the volume drawing. And I'm going to Control X, or just so you can see it on the screen, cut. Okay. And then they're in for the rest of the song. All right. So, and then, you know, I've got both ways of going about it right there. And I can A/B them and decide which one I prefer. Okay, so once again, let's go ahead and fit project. So I've got both approaches right there. And I can A/B them. So, you know, with the mix, right? So I want to hear this approach with the volume drawing. Solo that. And, all right. Whoops. No, I don't want to solo it. I want to hear it in the mix. Okay, so, and I'm going to mute this second. I'm going to mute that. That's what I want to do. All right, there we go. That probably is what I'm going to go with, but I am going to, you know, I am going to listen to it this way as well, with the longer fade out of the gorilla toms. Here we go. So this one with the volume drawing is muted, and I'm listening to this one where I actually cut sections out of the audio track. It's going to be a longer fade out of that part. Here we go. That sounds kind of funny. Right, so I think I kind of prefer the second one, the longer trail off, the longer fade out. But there's 2 ways of going about it, and you know, so these are the basic principles of volume drawing: setting volumes, and, you know, setting nodes, creating nodes. Sliding them around, setting volumes. You know, sometimes you know, it really is drawing. You know, when a mix gets really complex, there's a lot of different parts. Sometimes, like I've had this with, you know, big mixes, and like, you know, some parts of a guitar solo are just a bit too hot and loud, and I just want those notes in that part a little bit toned down, right? Or there's something else going on in the middle of that guitar solo, another sound event that happens, and it kind of like buries a few notes in the guitar solo. And so I might increase the volume of those guitar solo notes to compensate. Or conversely, I might go to that other track, that other sound event, and use volume drawing to make that a little bit quieter in that moment. You see, so you know, I can show you another project. Well, actually, the other gorilla, this big mix. Yeah, Let me show you that. You see here, open, Gorilla. This one. It says frozen for a reason. Don't mind that. This is a big mix. It's big. Takes a minute to load. It does take a minute to load. It's a big one. Don't mind that. Okay. There it is. And hang on. Okay, here. You see all those nodes there? Right there. And over here. Look at over here. Yeah. This was, outro guitar solos. It was a pretty complex outro. Lots going on. Might as well play it back. See if the CPU can handle it the way that I had it saved. Start it from here. Wow, it's loud. Sorry about that. I'm just gonna, geez. That's freaking loud, man. I'm gonna dial the master channel down a bit. So these parts are all being automatically volume modulated. Did you hear that gorilla grunt at the end there? That was purely by accident, not by design. That came from just a weird blip that happened. Not even in this guitar track called The Gorilla. I did a guitar track that was supposed to be the voice of the gorilla, but that's actually an artifact that came from chorus rhythm right here. Mysterious things like this do happen. This was the acoustic guitar part. I'm going to solo it. And you can hear where this happens. Right there. I don't know why I had the effects turned off on that. That must be why that mix sounded a bit muddy. Right here is where it happens. Right there. I don't know what made that happen. I don't know what caused that. I kept hearing it as I was mixing it. Where's that coming from? It sounds like the gorilla grunting. And so, I took it, I chopped it out, and I put it on its own track down here at the bottom. Gorilla's Last Grunt. There it is. And, magnified it. But it came from the acoustic guitar track. God, what else do I have disabled in this mix? Let's see, solo. No pan. Gotta be careful of that. Okay, so. Oh, shit. No wonder that sounded so muddy. Jeez. I must have been. Oh. Hey, I'm going to pause this for a second again. Hang on. Okay, well, no wonder it was so bloody loud and messy sounding. For some reason, I had all of the effects racks on all these tracks turned off. And so, oh man, I'm so annoyed and irritated all the time. I do shit like this all the time. Why do I do this? I just wasted time in the tutorial. It should have sounded, you should have been able to hear the volume drawing going on, but everything was such a mess that you couldn't. So anyway, might as well go back and not hear all of that again, but at least the outro guitar solos where the volume drawing really starts in earnest, like right here. Yeah. Right there. That's why I turned off all the effects racks, because this mix was maxing out my CPU. Just frustrations on top of irritations. Anyway, that's what you can do with volume drawing, right? Where you see a need to do it. And, let me see here. I'm going to back out of this and save changes. No, because I must have had a reason. I must have had a reason for that. All right. So that's basic first lesson in automation. If you're new to all this, you can automate other things, as alluded to at the beginning of this, and we'll do those at another time as they come up. And I guess tomorrow I'll track that Irish drum, the bow drain. Although it's been really humid here because of the monsoon rains, and the head's a little bit the head of the drum is a little bit moist, too moisturized. It doesn't sound the same. It's too big to stick in the not the freezer. I would stick it in the refrigerator for an hour or two to kind of like dry it out, but it won't fit. So I don't know. Leave the air conditioning on dehumidified. Leave it on all night. Dehumidify. See if I can dry that out a little bit, and then add some sound effects. Try to get that done tomorrow. And we're kind of approaching the end of everything that we can do with this microphone. I mean, obviously it could go on and on, but there has to be call it quits at some point with the USB mic. And then probably the next thing I'm going to do is track the bass part. And for that, I'm going to be using the audio interface and this electric guitar and the same plug-in that I used to make the Gorilla Toms, and some other things as well. We'll get into some more creative use of various plug-ins, try out some other ideas just in terms of mixing, creative use of plug-ins. For example, I'm thinking of applying a tempo delay to the Gorilla Toms, and you'll see what that's all about. There's plenty more coming up before this project is done and move on to a new series, another song. I'm thinking of, now that I know that I can do it without getting whacked with a copyright strike, I'm probably going to do Won't Back Down by Tom Petty. But still thinking about it. If I had, subscribers who commented, I'd invite you to make suggestions in the comments, but that ain't happening. So probably going to be Won't Back Down by Tom Petty, because you might want to get into this hobby, but you may not be a songwriter. Maybe you just can't write a song, or you think you can't write a song, or you don't want to write a song. Maybe you just want to do covers, songs that you like. That's fine. I do that myself. So yeah, that's it for this lesson. Kept it under an hour this time. Okay. That's it here from lovely Paju City, South Korea. First lesson, automation, volume drawing. See you again in the next installment. And if you're on the recovery path, hang in there. Stay sober. Keep it going. Don't give in. You're going to regret it. You know you're going to regret it. You're just going to feel like shit in the morning. You're going to loathe yourself. And then the cycle begins all over again. You know better. Just hang in there. Helps to have something to do. Helps to have something to, absorb that energy. Redirect that energy, man. And redirect it into something creative. Redirect it into something that has a tangible result. In this case, something that you have worked on. You put yourself into it. You mix it down. You export it into an MP3. And you take it to your car, your truck, whatever. You cruise down the highway and you listen to what you did. You get ideas for how I think I might go back and change that, or it's fun. Don't go back and hit the bottle. Tell the vampire to go pound sand or whatever he does when he doesn't have his way with you. All right, that's it. Over and out.